Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Paper, and it's Friday, so that means it's another page in our page-by-page signature collaboration with Kyung Shotwell. And I don't know why I said we, and me, myself, and I, apparently. Kyung's links are all below the video, so make sure to check out her video for this week, and also check out her Etsy store. She has some really awesome stuff over there, and she makes wonderful kits as well. So now the first signature is done, and did a flip through that. It's 20 pages. We're not going to go through that. Ta-da! So much for that, right? No, it's wonderful, and I can't wait to put that signature and this signature together in a book, and then Kyung and I are going to trade them when we're done. Okay, so for this signature, we're going to go from a list of 100 prompts. That I got a little bit of help with the prompt list, and you can see those links below. The premise is that every other week I pick a prompt. Every other week Kyung picks a prompt, obviously, since there's only two of us. And then whatever that prompt is, that's what you have to use on the page. So last week, Kyung selected tuck, and we made a tuck. And we made a tuck with a layered pocket on it, actually. And then this week, I selected die cut. So that's what we're going to do. That's why the big shot is out. So the only other thing is that there's two wild cards, one for Kyung and one for me. And the wild card is where you can pick two things off the page, two prompts off the page to be used on one page, and the prompts do not get marked off the list, so they can be used again. Okay, so here's our list. We're going to put that out of the way. Now, we've done page 1, which is 21. We've done 22, and now we're on 23. Okay, now 23 opens this way, so we have to keep that in mind when we're making the page. Okay, so we're going to make all the papers and everything, and then we're going to glue them to the page. That way, if we make a mistake, we haven't made a mistake in our signature. Okay, so we're going to take our signature and put it to the side. We don't need that. Welcome to the adventures in die cutting. I've never tried, I mean, I've done die cutting before. That's not the part I've never tried. I've never tried to do what I want to do on this page, and so we will see how well it works. Okay, so what you're going to need to do this page is you're going to need some die, which are these, and they cut out their blades, and they cut out the paper in the shape of whatever shape the die is. And it's DIE, not DYE, like dyeing paper. Okay? And die and die are the same. There is no plural dies. I don't think so. I think they're both die. And so we got those. Now, we've got our paper, which I cut out to 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then I added an 1/8 to our backing paper, and that's cream colored. This is the from the kit. Whoop, let me get it. Vintage Posy by the Journal Boat. Love the Journal Boat. You should check it out. Put a link to her below the video. So what I did was, now her pages do not print out to 8 1/2 by 11. Hers print out to that shorter size, because I believe she's in Europe. So what I did, though, was I printed this one out to fit the page, which is 8 1/2 by 11, which kind of cut off a little bit of the flowers and a little bit of this title area, but you'll see when we get going here that it's not going to make any difference. And I managed to fit in a flutterby, which I didn't even realize I was actually looking at the music paper part that I liked. And of course the posy. So this is going to be our paper and our page and our backing paper and the whole 9 yards. All right. This is our lace. I coffee dyed this just earlier today, and I'll tell you how I did it. And it's kind of funny. I have one of those single cup coffee makers, and I had made some coffee this morning and I still had grounds in the little cup. Don't judge. I hadn't emptied it yet. And so I took a half a cup of water and I ran it through the little single cup coffee maker without taking the used grounds out. And then I took this and dunked it in the cup. Now, this is not the cup I normally drink my coffee out of because I really don't want to dunk lace into it. Okay, so that's how I got this color versus a darker color. Okay, so that's the lace we're going to use. This is way more than we're going to need, but I like having some coffee dyed lace around, and I really, really like this lace. And I may have gotten this from my friend Dawn, or it may have been no, I know for sure that I got it from my friend Dawn, and so I'd like to thank her for that. Alrighty, now we are going to use this full-size paper, which is actually the size that it prints out without making it 8.5 by 11, because I wanted this half, which is the half that I cut off, to get this. You can see, same paper. We're going to use this to make the die cuts. That way we've got the posies on there. Okay, I've printed this on both sides because we're going to make tags and we're going to make pockets. I've also, when I inked the page, I started out with tea dye and that wasn't dark enough. Then I went to antique linen and I didn't really feel like that was dark enough either. And tattered rose is not very dark at all, but I put it over the top of the antique linen and got this color. Let me move the cream colored out here a little bit so you can see it. And I got that color. Now, I do not know if it's the combination of the three colors that gave me that color or what. Or if one's just darker than the other, if this is actually antique linen with just a little bit of rose colored add to it to bring out the rose in here. All right. And I do realize that the printed lace on the page is white, but you can mix white and cream lace, and there's cream color on the page. The backing paper is cream. So, and I liked the coffee dyed color of the lace. Okay, so this is our paper and our things. So we're gonna set our backing paper aside for right now. Set that over here so I don't mix it in with my spare piece. I always have to have a spare piece because you never know what's going to happen. I have spares of this as well. So what the idea is, let me put this right here because we're going to need it. What the idea is that we are going to use the Big Shot to cut out a rectangle. Now, the rectangle in here, the rectangles, these are what are called nesting rectangles. When you get them, there's one inside the other, inside the other, inside the other, all the way down to the smallest. This is what they look like when you get them, and then you have to take them all apart, and then that gives you the different sizes. I was going to use rectangles and squares. It's not a very big page, so I didn't. Plus, I really didn't feel like taking those apart. Comes in circles, triangles, rectangles, flowers, all kinds of shapes that are the nesting die. Those are a very good buy. You can get them for, I don't know, anywhere between $7 and $10 on Amazon. So, you know what? I keep telling you all these links. So let's link to the journal boat. Let's link to the die. There was another link that I told you that I was going to link to. All right, well, if I think of it, I'll write it down. That way you have the easy access to those links right there in the text below the video. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to cut out the insides, which are the square rectangles, excuse me, and use those as little cards. Okay, I think we can get 2. If we do a real small one, we might be able to get 3. If we do a small one here and 2 here. We're going to cut the, like I said, the rectangle out. That's going to be the card out of the flowered part of this paper. Now, this Big Shot only takes a 6-inch wide, that's correct, a 6-inch wide piece of paper. So we're gonna have to calculate that when we're putting it through the machine. Okay, I keep moving this around. I'm moving it out of the way. Okay, so what we want to do, and then if you put two together, like a bigger one and then a smaller one inside of it, not only do you get the cutout in the middle, but you get a frame. Now, the trick to that is that if you just do, let's say, this one and this one, well, it doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why. Because we're going to turn one sideways to make the pocket and one vertical to be the tag. So I really do want the tags to be bigger than the pockets. So let me think about this for a second. I thought I had it all figured out. What we can do is, let's see, is this going to be big enough? This would be big enough for a pocket right here. But I think, yeah. And then we could put this in. The thing is that I wanted to have just the frame as the pocket so that you could see the card through it. This is my plan. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I think we could do this as the pocket. My phone's going crazy over there. And then, because I'm getting ready to meet some friends to craft. So let's take these great big ones. We're obviously not going to use those, and we'll put them in the CD. This is what I use to store mine. It works really well. It's just a CD cover that I got on Amazon. I'm disabled, so I'm at home and all the time. And so I purchase almost everything that I get from Amazon. So that's why you always see Amazon links below my videos. Yeah, to refer all the items that I usually use in my videos. All right, so let's make tags in both sizes. Because we could make one. We could make one a belly band if we wanted. I really wanted 3 pockets. So we made a pocket here and put that there. And then did another one here. Then we would have room for a small one over here. And I might have to get out. I think this is the one size bigger. It is. All right, so let's figure this out. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we're going to set our die somewhere that we're not going to lose them. So let's set them all right there. Okay, this is our paper, so let's set that aside for just a minute. Not very long. Let's take this, which is going to be our tags. That's why it's printed on both sides. But we're going to cut a 6-inch wide piece out of this. Good job. So we can take our posies, which are very pretty, and we can make a 6-inch wide piece that will go through our die cut machine. Now you can glue, you can do backing paper. Oh look, we'll have one, we can have one that's got music on it too. You can, that looks awful wide. Nope, that's going to go through. What was I going to say? Oh, you can just back your paper. You can put my printer and the borders. I am telling you what, I'm about tired of it. It doesn't, it makes a thin border on one side and a margin, and a thin margin on one side and a large margin on the other side. Hey, say large margin 10 times really fast and see how well you say it. Anyway, you could back it with other paper and glue this paper onto other paper. The die cut will cut through 2 pieces of paper are just fine. Okay? Or the Big Shot. All right, so this is also another one that we can use. We can also use this one for extra posies if we need it. Okay? So let's move our paper cutter right now. Now, the Big Shot, what it does is there's 2 plates. You put your paper and your die in between, like a sandwich. Okay? This is the base and the spacer that makes it tall enough so that when you crank this handle and it runs this through the machine, that there is enough height so that when it squishes the die and the paper together between the plates, that it cuts it out. The die, when you look at them, you'll see there are little bumps on one side. Those are the blades. They're actually sharp. And then when you flip it over, there's nothing. So you want to make sure that the cutting side is the side laying on the paper. Otherwise, you're just going to have a real pretty indent and you're not going to have anything cut out. So let's put one plate on. That's going to be our bottom plate. I'm going to see if I can do this sideways so that you can see it better. I'm not sure about, I'll probably have to stand up to do it. Okay, so now let's take our posies. Put that paper on there. Now let's take our die, and we want a couple of cards these sizes. So we're going to go ahead and cut out the posy part. As the tags, I mean. I said cards, I think. Could even turn it this way. Get more flour on it. Okay? And not the kind of flour you bake with. Wow, bad joke number 1 already. That didn't take very long, did it? Okay. So now all we have to do is crank this handle and it'll put that through. I moved it. You can use masking tape or blue tape or purple tape, I mean, to tape those down. Me, I'm usually okay with just laying it on there. It takes a little bit to kind of move it. So I've got my blades down towards the paper, flat side up, towards the plate. Okay, and yes, this has a bunch of scratches on it because the blades are going to cut through the paper and they're going to leave scratches or little thin cuts on these plates. That's perfectly normal. Don't freak out if that happens. Okay, so I'm going to stand up and you can see it hasn't grabbed it yet. So I'm going to push it forward until the machine grabs it, and then I'm just going to keep cranking it. Now it's going to get really hard to turn. Not really hard, but you'll feel resistance once it hits one of the blades. And you're going to hear a noise. Did you hear that? That means it went past the blade. Okay. And I should do it one more time. Okay. Now, a lot of times, if it's 2 pieces of paper, I'll run it back through. All you have to do is turn the handle the other way, and it'll feed it back through. But with 1 piece of paper, you don't really have to do that. Kind of overkill. All right, now what's going to happen is we're going to take our top plate off, and you'll see these are pushed way into the paper, and that's because it cut out the circle. Now I want you to notice the little pattern that's on around the edge, and that's from the little blades. And that's nice. And then on the back side we have our cream colored, because I printed the paper double-sided. Now this little tag is not very sturdy, so if you want to back it, you know, you can. Okay, so let's take this one out. But you'll notice we don't have any frames yet. I think I want to make one more large tag. So let's run that one back through. Now, you should kind of flip these back and forth because they'll get curved if you don't. You don't want curved plates, do you? Just like dinner time. Who wants curved plates? Oops. So I'm going to cut one more. So you can do it faster. I was just doing it slow so you could hear it and so you could see what was going on. Okay, so now I have one more card. Those are pretty. They came out well with the flowers on them. Now, see, we've used that up. Let's go with our music paper. We'll put that on there. We can run it back through, but because of the way I'm standing, it's easier for me to do it from this one side. Okay, so let's lay our music paper on there. Then we'll nest one inside the other. And what that will give us is this little area in between, plus it'll give us the tag in the middle. Okay? This is probably where the tape would come in handy. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these two and see what happens. See what we get. How big of a frame we get. Well, I mean, I know how big of a frame we'll get, but how thick. And everybody that knows how to do this, I know, is telling me to get tape. Tape them down, tape them down. Okay, let's get that through there. It's actually fun. It's fun to do these. Okay, so we'll take our plate off. And I store mine with the plates laying on here. Don't store them with them in the middle of the machine. That just makes them curved. All right, so now you can see what we've got. Here's the blade side. And we've got our little teeny centerpiece. Oops, come on. And we have a frame in music paper. And we've got this little tiny piece that I'm not sure what we're going to do with, but we'll probably do something. Maybe we'll make a little embellishment out of it. I do not know, but we're going to put it right there. We're going to put our frame right there. Let me see. That's definitely big enough to put the tag in. Yay. Okay. We might want to make one more of those. All right, so now the same thing on this one. We're going to end up with another tag, only music paper this time, and another frame, and this time the frame is going to be bigger. Okay, so we've got our frames setting here, we've got our bigger tags here, and we've got that little bitty piece right there. Now, I'm wondering, let's get our page back out. Take a look at this here for a minute. So we've got our page. That's not our page. We've got our paper for our page. Now we've got this frame, which I'm going to put here. And remember, we're only going to glue it on 3 sides. You'll be able to see through it. And then I think we should put this really colorful tag. Oh, and then we can put one of the small ones, one of the musical ones in there as well. How nice. How nice that will be. Then we should take the smaller one. Maybe we'll only put 2. And we'll take the smaller one. Ooh, and it's music though. It kind of blends in. Oh, this one is too. Oh, we're going to ink them. And we'll put it up here. And then we'll put the big tag in there. Maybe we'll put the 2 little tags and the big tag in that one. Yeah. Okay. So that sounds like a plan. Okay, I'm going to put you on pause and do all of this inking so you don't have to watch me ink the frames and the cards and the blah and the blah. So we're going to take our, and remember we still have our little bitty that could be an embellishment. Maybe we could put it down here with a little piece of lace or something. Oh, wait till you see the lace. I don't know. We may not have room. Okay, so I'm going to take these and put them back in here. I'm going to keep this paper here because, look, we've got a posy right there in case we need one. You never know when you're going to need a posy. So we have enough room there for that. So we'll put these away for now. And I'm going to put you on hold. And then when I come back, we will have all of this inked. And we may have one more posy. I'm not going to make you watch me do it a third time. And then we'll start putting our page together. Okay? Alrighty. I will see you in just a second. I'm going to put you on pause. Okay, everything has been inked, and I got to looking at it. Everything's going to work out fine. Got out my bucket of words and found a word, a small one, that says memories, so I thought that would work. And then I got to looking at it. I had the pockets laid out and everything the way I wanted. Then I realized that if I put the lace on, or when I put the lace on, we were putting the lace on, then it was going to cover up part of the little pocket. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the lace on first. Then we're going to determine where our pockets go so that we aren't covering up our pocket with the lace. Now, covering up the edge, or the very edge of one, is fine. I just don't want to cover up the part where we put it, you know what I mean, in and out. So let's get the glue, and I'm going to glue this. Let me see this lace. I'm going to glue it right along this line right here. Okay, so confidently I will place the glue. I'm just going to put it on each one of these squares, or rectangles. Wow, that's kind of funny because that makes the whole thing rectangles, doesn't it? I just realized. Okay, I'll line this up with the rectangles right along the edge. And it's going to stick off just a little bit, and then we'll trim it. So we're going to put that on there. So I just want it to be known that I officially used lace. No, I've used it before. Let's give it a second to dry. And then we'll trim it off. Okay. Put this in our little teeny weeny. No. So now when we take a look at it, as you can see, it covers up where this got cut off. And then what I was looking at is that the easiest way to line these up and make sure that they're straight is to line them up with this, with the what is that? That's not the staff. This is a staff note. Anyway, the music. So I want to put this in this empty area down here, and I've decided I'm going to use that little tiny one to go up and down, but not central. Okay, so we're going to put that there, we know. So then we put this here with the tags here. Then I need to put this little one partially under the lace but still able to have this put in and out. Now, that means the top of this is going to line up with the bottom of that. And let's go ahead and move this down. No, I think what I'm going to do is line up the inside of the frame. I inked everything, but I'm going to line up the inside of the frame with the bottom line right underneath where it says circus. Okay, so let's do that. Remember, we're making a pocket, so we're only going to glue 3 sides. Those of you who use art glitter glue are probably going, that nozzle's smaller for art glitter glue. I just stuck my finger in the glue. Okay, so we got 3 sides of it. The bottom of it lined up. And we're assuming that the musical lines go straight across. I can't believe I can't remember what it's called. Okay, and we're going to glue the other one on. Like I said, I may have to cut out a couple more tags and stick them in there. It just depends. Okay, so let's glue this one here. See, I wish that ink had been just a little bit darker. Okay, and then we're going to take this. I'm going to take the word memories off. Then I'm going to glue this to this. So I'm going to glue the back of this. And it is printed on the back because it was off the same piece of paper. I'm going to glue this to this. Okay. Then I'm going to glue the word on here, and I inked the word. The word is memories. And I believe this is printed on the back of a piece of paper from my Alice in Wonderland book. Okay, so let's line up the end of the word memories with this music. We'll put that straight across. Yeah, that looks straight. And then all we have left to do is glue this onto the page and then put the cards in the pockets, and then we'll have our page. Like I said, I wish I had used a darker ink, not Vintage Photo. That's way too dark. But I wish that I had. It's so funny because I have probably 30 of these small Ranger inks, and I couldn't find the one I wanted. A little bit darker than tea dye, a little bit lighter than, I know I've got one. It must be in the wrong drawer. I have these little drawers. They're these little black plastic things you can get at the Dollar Tree, and you can stack them. All right, so let's put the little one in here. Let's put our 2 bigger ones in here. I can see a problem already. There's not enough on the bottom to hold them in. So what are we going to do? We're going to use them as belly bands. That's what we're going to do. If I spread these apart enough, and or add a 3rd one, then this will be enough to hold them on. Okay, so now we're going to take our cream colored paper. Let's take these back out. We're going to put glue on here. We're going to glue it to the back page. You may notice I'm talking quieter because it's now been several hours and I've been crafting with my friends. And we use Facebook. Probably most people do, so they can craft with their friends across the country. But it is 1:45 here in the morning. So that means it's 4:45 for them. They didn't stay up that late. I actually have been to bed and got back up again. So we're going to glue this back on here. I'm going to make sure it's even all the way around. Okay, glue that on there. Now let's get our signature out. We're going to glue this in our book. And then, ladies and gents, we will have our page. So this wasn't difficult. I just thought I would take the chance, or take the opportunity to show you how to use the Big Shot. And then that way, if you get one in your future, not in your past, unless, let's make sure we've got the page right side up with the lace facing outward. We'll center this on the page. Nice. Lace is going to stick out. There's our page. Let's put our cards back in. I think they look pretty, and don't forget to ink them on the back as well. I know I showed you the pattern from where the blades were, but it also makes a pattern on the front side as well. So we've got that. This one, yeah, this is definitely going to need another one. And I could actually do a double one of these. Is probably what I should have done, because this isn't thick enough to catch the bottom once it's glued on. So that was the mistake that I made. Anyway, that's page 23. Let's get her in the book. Okay. Yeah, and I'm just going to make a couple more little cards to put in there so that they don't come out. All right. There's our page. And I guess you guys know what that means. That's our video. And I will see you in the next video. And that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Alrighty. Bye-bye.